All right, join me. Let's analyze this share, MTN shares, and look at the past, the present, and also the future. It all started in 2006, where a company called MTN Group, which was a multinational company or still a multinational company, but had their parent company in South Africa, came into Ghana. And after then, there was one particular company called Space Phone, and it was one of the mobile servicing company, best of course after then, and they purchased this particular company. They rebranded this company to MTN Ghana in 2007, and from 2007 they operated in the telecommunication industry from 2007 during war up until 2017. In 2017, there comes 4G network, where they wanted to purchase this 4G network or wanted to have licenses in order to operate with 4G network. And after then, there was a regulatory body called NCA, which is one of the regulatory bodies in Ghana, the National Communication Authority. It regulates the telecommunication industry and also other communication sectors. In order to acquire these licenses to operate with the 4G service, one of the requirements was to grant 4G services to only public companies. And as then, MTN Ghana was a private-owned entity or a private-owned company. So there was a need for the leadership to shift from being a private company into a public company. So there comes a necessity for them to float their shares in 2018. So in 2018, they decided to make their initial public offer. I can vividly remember this year because that was the year I just graduated from senior high school, preparing to write private exams. And as then, when they made the initial public offer, the share price was so cheap, and I was having basic knowledge about investing. That was the time I was just picking up with stock investment and all that. So I decided to get into this. This is a story for another day. How I purchased this stock and how I lost everything when they stole my phone and all that. Because as then, they made it so simple that you can purchase the share of the company with just mobile money. And that was the time mobile money just came into the system and everything was dominating as then. So they made it so simple. Let's look at how the initial public offer went. They wanted some amount of money. They targeted some capital. Unfortunately, they couldn't meet the required amount of money they wanted, simply because a lot of people were scared as then the Ghana Stock Exchange market wasn't doing well. But investors who saw this as a golden opportunity, ride on it, took advantage of it, and bought shares as then. And guess what? The initial public offer was just 0.75 pesos. It was less than 1 Ghana cedis as then. A lot of investors took advantage of this. Great companies, big organizations, and investment companies bought MTN shares because they know that there was going to be a future in this particular share. As then, if you are able to purchase just 5,000 shares with MTN Ghana, it would have cost you 3,750 Ghana cedis. But today, in order to have that same 5,000 shares, the current price of MTN share is 3 cedis, 30 pesos. In order to have it, you need to have 16,500 Ghana cedis. This is a substantial increase of over 340% increment in the share growth. So investors who invested with just 3,750 Ghana cedis, today the price or the amount of money they will be having in MTN as shareholders is 16,500 Ghana cedis. That gives us a profit of 12,750 Ghana cedis in just 7 years. So what will those who bought shares of over 10,000, 15,000 shares, 20,000 shares, what do you think the amount of money they will be benefiting today? Let me hear that in the comment section. So the share increment rose from 0% to 340%. Simply just take the current price, which is 3 cedis 30 pesos, minus the initial public offer, which was 0.75 pesos, divide it by 0.75 pesos and multiply it by 100 to see the share growth. And bear in mind, we have two ways of benefiting from shares as a shareholder. The first is share growth, like I stated, and the second one is dividend payment. So without dividend payment over the years, this is a substantial amount a lot of people will be benefiting, or investors will be benefiting from MTN shares in just 7 years. And but before you invest, I want to put a caution out there. This is not a financial advice. Kindly seek an advice or a perspective from any financial expert before you put in your money in MTN shares. But bear in mind that at the end of the day, if you are able to invest, experts have predicted that in 5 years time, that is by 2030, MTN shares will be trading around 10 cedis. And even they went further to predict that by the close of this year, we should be buying MTN shares around 3 cedis 85 pesos. If you don't want this as a young investor or as an investor, what else do you want? If you are able to make small money for yourself, I will recommend that you should always put little of the money you are making in MTN shares, because at the end of the day, there's a golden opportunity for you to reap huge benefit from that place. I've already made a video on how to buy or purchase MTN shares with just some clicks or with just some mobile apps. I'll leave the link in the description where you'll be able to follow it to learn how to buy MTN shares or any stock in the Ghana Stock Exchange market. And please don't forget to like and also subscribe to this channel as we move on and grow this community together. My name is Amdawe, and cheers, seeing you in the next video.